Let's
You
compare
still have
it.
here on
Yeah.
the. All right. It's 5:30, Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. City Council Chambers at 1103 West Main Street. Call to order, please.
Council President Kaiser,
Here.
Councilman O'Meara,
Here.
Councilman Chris Jansen,
Here.
Councilman Murray.
Indeed.
Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
That's off, gentlemen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have someone to lead us in prayer? Oh, thank you. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Lori Clark, Director at the Middleton Public Library. Father, we come before you right now and we give you all praise, glory, and honor. We thank you that you are the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and that you love us, and we just receive that love right now. I thank you that for the opportunity to be here tonight. I pray that you would give us your wisdom and your knowledge as we talk about all things city, and we thank you for the unity that you are providing for this city, Lord, as we go forward in this new year. Just the word that I have is unity, Lord. Unity, unity. We just thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Lori.
Okay. Item A, approved agenda.
Council have agenda for us tonight. Any questions on said agenda? All right, then I move we approve the agenda posted September 29th at 11:30 a.m.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, public comment or non-public hearing items on city business, 3 minutes. Patrons will be called to speak at the podium based on sign-in sheet posted at the back of the public meeting room, and as shown, nobody signed. So, information item number 1, library update, Ms. Clark, please.
Lori Clark, Middleton Library Director. Doing a quarterly update, and the last 3 months have been all things summer reading program, busiest time of the year, and the most exciting time of the year because we encourage kids to read during the summer, and if they don't, the summer slide occurs, right? It's like if you don't read during the summer, you go back to school in the fall, it takes much longer to get back into the swing of things in school than if you read during the summer. So that's our main goal during the summer. We had 463 children between the ages of 0 and 18 sign up, which is more than last year. So each year there's just a little more that sign up. And we also have the most programs. We get grants to come in. We have the Friends of the Library that donate to support people coming in. Dr. Pickelstein from BSU comes in and does a STEM program, and he does it for free. So anyway, we had 442 children between the ages of 0 and 5 come to all of our programs, and then ages 6 to 11, 489. And then those designed for all ages, 225. So the numbers were really great. We had a lot of participation this year. So why do I love summer reading? Because, for example, an 8-year-old boy who didn't like to read last summer has been reading nonstop since the program last year. His mom told us that he loves the Who Was books now and that his favorite person is Rosa Parks. And then on Facebook, we had a thanks Middleton Public Library. My tween daughter read the most she's ever read during the summer. She's my most reluctant reader. She won the s'more maker from the summer reading program, which was a sweet surprise. We love our library. So some of the board members were like, what are you buying these crazy prizes for? Crazy things. I'm like, they're prizes for summer reading. The kids love it. Another person said, super cool, Daisy Grace won a $30 Jackson's gift card, and that was donated, by the way. And then Joy won the Frozen bed set, you know, Frozen, like the Disney movie, and she couldn't wait to unwrap it. So those are that's the feedback from some of the families for summer reading. And then we had about 3 families come in on a Saturday unannounced. They brought balloons, gift cards, snacks, thank you cards for the library workers. And this is my favorite card from there, and then I'll read some from the kids. But it says, I started reading it and my heart dropped. It said, when we moved to Middleton from Salt Lake City, I was visibly disappointed in our tiny library compared to what we knew before. However, I have come to love and appreciate our library and all you workers. The selection there is quite impressive. Story time is wonderful, and you've been so helpful again and again with book holds and even ordering a book that I wanted that the library didn't have yet. You continue to amaze me, and I am so grateful for our Middleton library and you wonderful workers. Keep it up. Thank you, thank you. And she said, P.S. Our pumpkins are huge. We grew them from seeds from the library because we get donations from the master gardeners. So, and we have them available for our patrons. So they got some, they're growing. Okay, so here's some from the kids. You are a star. I love to read. You're the best. We love you, library. Thank you so much for letting us have books, movies, and video games. Library, thank you. And I love this one. Thank you for taking time out of your day to provide knowledge. So that's how the library's doing. We are blessed beyond measure, and I just want to say thank you for all of your support because we couldn't do it without you guys.
Thank you, because you do a lot with little.
Yep.
Every year. You never cease to amaze me in what you get done.
Absolutely. And Mayor and Council, may I ask a quick question?
Absolutely.
I ran into Stephen, the director of the Eagle Library, and he has something for me, and I didn't bring it with me tonight, but I've got to give it to you. But he also asked the question, and I just thought of the question now, so I can't remember the name of it, but it's a co-op program that the libraries get into where they can exchange.
Links.
Pardon?
I think it's the Links Library Program.
Yes, that's it. So he asked if we are going to participate in that, or we can or can't. Is it funding, or he really would like us to be involved in that.
I want to be involved in it. The board wants us to be involved in it. We don't have space in the library for it right now because we have to have, basically it's, if you belong to the Eagle Library, you can get books from Nampa, Boise, Meridian, Star, and pretty much every, Caldwell, any library in the valley except for us. So I'm like, okay, how can we make that work? And I went and visited a few libraries, and you need a space for a bin for each library because people return books from all different libraries. And we just don't have that space. So I'm looking at different ways of how to make that happen. I haven't come up with one yet, but I'm looking at it, and I'm always thinking, how can we just make probably an 8x8 room where we can put all of those so that we can have space and participate in that.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that, and I'll noodle on it with you on the
Okay.
call. I think that would be an awesome thing.
It would be.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Lori.
Thanks, Lori.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay, action item number 1.
We have the consent agenda items, minutes of City Council September 17th, ratify payroll through September 19th. We did have a very small accounts payable. Wendy was out in Hawaii and then come back sick, and then she leads the life. But I did go through the bills. The one that stood out is our yearly payment to iCrimp. I want to say the total was it's a very, very small run, today being the first, obviously. But iCrimp was like $109,000 for the year. The total for the whole deal was like $189,000 in bills. So iCrimp was a big part of that. Now, just a FYI, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a very large run because of all the bills coming due. Just don't get sticker shock.
Okay.
So any questions on any of that? That was the only one of note, was the iCrimp one, but that's a once a year hit. So, and then Wendy will be caught up after her trip to Hawaii. So, all right, then I move we approve consent agenda items A and B.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, we are opening the public hearing. The time is, oh, look at that beautiful new clock. Hadn't seen it before, 5:40. Couldn't pass it up. Okay. Number 2, public hearing application by City of Middleton to vacate a utility drainage easement of the interior boundary line between lots 2 and 3, block 4 of Green Lake subdivision, final plat 1523 and 1531 Augusta Street, in anticipation of the lot consolidation required for the construction of the new Middleton Smiles Family Dentist Building. Ms. Stewart, please.
Yes, thank you, Mayor and Councilman. So if you look up on the screen, you'll see that we're talking about 2 lots in the Green Links subdivision. It's just west of the Big Republic storage facility. And this involves actually a lot consolidation. So Dr. Ganir, Middleton Smiles Family Dentistry, bought these 2 lots. You can see it's close up. And he's going to build a single dentistry building that's going to transect those lines. So he came in and he's doing a lot consolidation application with me. It's administrative, costs a few $100s. You bring in survey data, and this 2 lots will be changed to 1 lot. But the one thing it can't do is vacate easements that were created by the Green Links final plat. And the easements in our code requires this 5 foot on each side of the interior boundary. So look at these 2 black lines. That's for drainage, possible utilities that might transect or go through those corridors. So even though we get rid of the lot line, we can't get rid of the easement, and you really can't or shouldn't build a building over an easement. So we're applying city, or he is applying for city council to vacate those 2 little 5 foot easements. I had to give 2 legal notice in the newspaper 2 times, and also I had to mail notice to surrounding landowners 500. Actually, the code only required 300. So notice was proper. And I spoke with the city engineer, just so you know about this. She said this little utility easement causes way more problems than it does good. And so the city engineer is recommending that we do a code change and take out this requirement of this interior easement. We'll leave the easements on the front of the lots and the back of the lots because that's how water's conveyed and utilities usually, but not these little center ones. So asking tonight, it gets done via the resolution in the next action item. And if you move to approve or adopt that resolution, then this easement is vacated.
Okay.
Correct?
What is that white line going through the property, east to west or west to east?
Sidewalk.
Is that sidewalk?
Mm-hmm.
There is a white grid pattern, but the sidewalk, that is sidewalk, it's an aerial.
Is your building supposed to go on top of that sidewalk?
No, if you watch where, can you see, or, yeah. The building will be kind of pushed back here, but,
That's the size of the lot.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
it will, that sidewalk will stay just as it is.
That sidewalk would have been built within the setback, and so in general, all those will be designed in such a way that when buildings come in, they won't be able to build on top of them. I'll just say that. Yeah.
Right. It has a public access easement on it, they can't build over that easement either, so it's good.
It's protected
Mhm.
by separate things.
Roberta, is there any cost to the city in abandoning that easement?
None, it's just a signature on a resolution, that's the cost.
Okay.
When was the last time that easement was used or necessary?
Well, I mean, on this particular lot, it's not being used or necessary, and on most lots, it's not used and necessary. So we really do need to think about taking that out of our code.
Is that from the old, like, because the telephone line, which no one has anymore, because the telephones, I know all those sit in the back corner of lots, where I live as well. And I know they have an easement to get to there if there ever was a problem, but it doesn't seem to be, that's not the way of doing business.
It's not being used. And if there really was a need for an easement like that, well, then we would discreetly take care of that one
Right.
easement on the final plat. So this is like overkill.
Yeah.
That's causing way more problems
It's
than
a very
good.
old plat.
And it's
They
very
designed
old,
it.
and the city still does these easements.
Okay,
And the engineer's fine.
Yeah, she recommended that we get rid of it.
we need to look, with all the other code changes.
Yeah.
So just a confirmation, where is the building gonna go? Is it gonna cross that boundary line? And
Well, this will be one single lot.
Assuming from the conversation that that's what it's gonna happen.
It's just going to be, it's gonna sit parallel to Highway 44 Main Street. It'll sit in the back of this one single lot.
Okay.
Do we have anybody to talk?
We are opening the public hearing for public testimony. The time is 5:46, and there's nobody wanting to testify. Public testimony and applicant rebuttal, if available, applicable, I'm sorry. None?
Then,
Public testimony, I'm sorry, Mayor, the public hearing and testimony is now closed. The time is 5:46. Number 3, consider adopting Resolution 528-25, which is a resolution to vacate a utility easement over and across a portion of Lot 2, Block 4, and Lot 3, Block 4 of the Green League subdivision 1531 and 1523 Augusta Street, located in the northwest quarter of the northeast quarter of Section 8, Township 4, North, Range 2, West, Boise Meridian, City of Middleton, Canyon County, Idaho, and providing an effective date. Ms. Stewart.
that's, so that's how, the little bit of housekeeping that'll get this done.
Okay.
Council questions? Pretty straightforward. All right, I move we adopt resolution 528-25.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, says mayor to provide comments as needed. The mayor has nothing to say today. I'm happy. Is there staff that would provide comments at this time?
Nothing.
Nope.
No, Jason's coming.
You're just perfect.
You come to tell us about
Well,
that fancy new truck out there?
Well, wait, one more thing. Does council have anything they'd like to say at this time?
Depends on the comments that I hear from our city staff.
Okay, well, we'll ask that next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Councilman Murray, did you guys?
We're just doing general comments now, correct?
Yes.
You're gonna love me for this, Jason. Had 2 requests for crosswalks.
Okay.
I've heard when I came in earlier that you've spoken to somebody about at least one of them. There's a gal who lives in the neighborhood north of the high school, and her kids have to walk all the way down to Emmett Cross and then go back to the high school. She's asking that we look at putting in a crosswalk somewhere near where that sidewalk comes out of the neighborhood.
Okay.
And then another gal pointed out that we have no crosswalks whatsoever at this entire intersection. And there are, of course, a lot of kids that walk from West Highlands down to the high school.
Yes. Just to describe that for the record, the one crosswalk was in the middle of Willis, is that Willis?
Mhm.
Between Emmett and
Hartley.
Hartley, sort of a mid-block crosswalk where the walkway comes out of the North Highland subdivision.
Yeah,
Near where I believe there's a church in that vicinity.
so right across the street, yeah.
That's one, and then the other crosswalk would be at the intersection of Hartley and Willis. To put a couple comments just for the general picture, mid-block crosswalks are tricky ones. We've talked about that a number of times before, but we can look at it again. I'll look at it with the engineer and the traffic engineer and look at what options might exist there. The other intersection is particularly tricky, as not all the intersections are finished, and there is no sidewalk on the northwest corner that is the where the Idaho Power substation is.
Yeah.
There is a crosswalk kind of leading to that we considered taking out, because it's kind of in a funky spot, but the engineering judgment of our streets engineer was that it's probably fine as it is, and fine being there rather than being removed. So there are some very tricky things with that intersection that we'll need to take into consideration as we move forward. But we'll be glad to look at it and get back with you.
I would like to say quite proudly that I told her you would say almost exactly that about mid-block crosswalks, and that more than likely you, if we were going to do it, you would put it somewhere near one of these exits from the high school.
Yeah.
I learned things.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Let's go into executive
Oh,
session.
staff comments.
Oh,
I had a
you're
couple
doing
things.
staff?
Yes, I had a
Okay.
couple things.
Okay.
First, the truck, we have a new truck that is sitting out here, that the city just arrived today. And this is for the sewer department. Notice it's got nice toolboxes on the side of the truck, so we don't have to buy the toolboxes to put in the truck that are then harder to get to than just these ones on the side mount. So we're excited about that. I've explained before, this is an opportunity for our sewer department to get a new truck, pass down one of their trucks to, I think, either our streets or our parks department at a reasonable rate, because those are still pretty good trucks, and then get rid of one of our oldest trucks in the fleet and keep our fleet in sort of modernized, as modernized as we can and as current. Also behind us, there is a tractor. The tractor is not new. What's new is the attachment behind it that is a side mower that allows us to mow the edge of streets or shoulders of roadways, and will allow us to do that better. We've been doing it before. So that is the thing to note over there. Moving on to the next item I had been, David Whithouse of David Evans and Associates had reached out to me earlier this week about the Pell study. I was able to finally get in touch with him this morning about all of that, and he wanted to give me an update of where things were. So to back up, we had received a response from ITD regarding Councilman O'Mara's letter. I think that got distributed to all of you separately, and that is what it is. I have read through it once, but have not done any more than that. The update that was provided to me is that the Pell's process, basically the scope of work they were already contracted into, they're looking to wrap up and kind of put the bow on it and hand in their homework sometime around the middle of October. So that'll have the recommendations and all the technical reports that go behind it. I asked if they'd share those. They haven't shared them yet. At this point, it makes just as much sense to wait for that report to kind of all be passed in together. So that is the first thing. That's going to move them into the NEPA process. I know we've talked a number of times in the group here, but just to keep everybody that may be listening, that if there's someone that has not heard that before, that is the formal environmental process required by federal highways for the state highway department to undertake a project, and that's called the NEPA process, National Environmental Policy Act process. They are scoping, David Evans and Associates is scoping their work to undertake that NEPA work in two phases. Phase, what they're calling 2A, is what they're anticipating being contracted for right now. Sounded like the money that ITD had allocated in this fiscal year would cover that 2A, but was not enough to cover the entire effort. So they are anticipating a 2B, phase 2, part B, to commence in basically October of next year and follow right on the heels of this 2A study. The 2A study, what they're looking at doing is first doing preliminary design and development of the parts basically outside of Middleton, the parts that are kind of the same in all 4 alternatives. So that's Highway 84 to Canyon Lane, and then on the other side from Marjorie to Star. All 4 alternatives that they had identified really don't change in any of those of those things. So they would advance those designs to final, to where they're suitable for a NEPA review. The other and sort of major component of the 2A scope that he described to me was a refinement of the 4 alternatives that are the 4 alternatives. So a more in-depth look at each of those to develop them further. I flesh out some of the items that the city has identified, a lot of things that they have said the design will follow later as they get into the details. They're now ready to get into the details of those things. So they anticipate that effort would involve likely about 4 open workshops with council or other city entities in the area. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then 4 sort of technical meetings with staff where they can get into some details with Roberto and myself, or probably the 2 major players to provide that information. So that effort of developing further all 4 of those alternatives is anticipated to take roughly 6 months is what they have scoped out there. That would push the official start of the NEPA, kind of starting the timer on the NEPA process to the end of that 6 months or so. Next spring roughly would be when that would start. Continuing on, that they are scoping this as an environmental impact statement, which is the higher level than the environmental assessment. There may be the possibility that it is a environmental assessment, but I think most partners are thinking that's less likely at this point. It will likely be an EIS, which generally takes up to 2 years, which would be essentially spring of 26 to spring of 28. Yes, and so anything they can do in this 6-month window of the alternate investigation will hopefully help them narrow down to a more definitive design that they can take forward in the NEPA process. So they did talk about they'd like to definitely understand our wastewater treatment plant needs, meet with the city consultant in conjunction with that, and dig deeper into that, understand more of the Crane Creek Plaza and URD interests over there, understand where at grade or above grade pedestrian crossings make the most sense and what those might look like throughout the area, meet with the city or meet with the school district about a possible extension of Viking Road and how that might interface with their other facilities, meet with the River Point development, meet with URD, I mentioned them. I suggested Greater Middleton Parks might have something. I don't know if they would have a lot, but they do have one prominent facility on Main Street, and you're meeting with everybody else in Middleton. Why not meet with the parks? They're nice people. You like them. And meet with your drainage and your irrigation districts too, because some of those are likely to also be impacted by the thing. So that was their kind of the course that they have laid out and wanted me to at least inform the council of that. And I said I would be glad to do that. And then I'm also glad to kind of take the direction of council back to them, or do whatever the wishes of the council and mayor would like me to do. further advances. So that is the end of that presentation. Let me sidetrack because I thought of one other thing I'd like to mention today. We did have the hearing for the judicial confirmation on the sewer plant today. Stephanie Bonney led that at Canyon County and did an excellent presentation on behalf of the city. So that is in progress and moving forward. But and that's the end of my prepared comments. We'll be glad to discuss too, should you have any more. Oh,
Anybody else find it frustrating that we've been fighting with ITD and trying to make them hear us for 2.5 to 3 years, and they're just now saying, hey, we'd like to hear more about these issues you have?
Been fighting with them
And
a little longer than 2.5
We've told their
years.
high-level representatives directly to their face in no uncertain terms all of these impacts, and they're just now saying, oh, we heard you have some problems.
You might want to take a look at the letter.
I'm just saying.
So we're still looking at, so it's next October, a year from
6
October?
years.
Yeah, I mean, how long before they even come up with a design? 2 years?
You can't predict that, we're not them.
it could be
Earliest?
6, 8, 10 months. 10 months, you could have a pretty good concept of what they're planning to take through the NEPA process.
Okay.
And then the NEPA process, because like they're doing final designs on the end,
Right.
would be that level of detail. Now they've already said they're going out and doing some surveying, additional surveying of all of these areas and getting some aerial survey of all of these things so they can do a more detailed engineering design than they have done for the Pels level.
Right.
That includes which routes, all 4?
It was indicated to me that it would be all 4 routes.
Okay. Well, it sounds to me like we're in a position of just hurry up and wait. Because I don't know what would you recommend our next step be with them? Because I don't see one until we understand what the recommendations are, or until they're ready to talk.
Well, they were ready to talk on the 25th, and that got delayed until I think you said December or January.
I don't know
Have you
exactly yet.
contacted any of them?
Julie was out of town, actually out of state. She was up in Alaska for a while, came back, and we've been playing phone tag for about 10 days now, I think. But I'll get a hold of her eventually.
Well, but the official, like to sit down and say, we want to hear your issues. This is the first time in, I don't know how long. So what's your recommendation, Jason, on our next step at this point?
You might consider, you laid out kind of your 10 or so things that you think this was most impactful for, that would be impacted by these particular ones. You might ask for a response on how that those are anticipated to be addressed in this process. And then based on that response, ask city council or city staff to meet further with ITD on that process. That might be a process. Yes, Mayor.
So when I heard this information today, Mr. Brinkman is out right now. There's death in the family, so I'm going to wait a little bit before I call him out of respect. But I'm going to ask on behalf of the city that they prioritize out of the 4 to take into consideration what they're going to do with Highway 44, because I'm hearing from businesses that they're afraid to do anything on there because we haven't made an official once and for all decision. So when they're going through the 4, if they could prioritize that first. Whether or not that happens, I don't know, but that's what I'm going to request.
Well, their businesses are afraid to do things anywhere
I know.
because of the southern route, this route, that route. So.
I know. I can only deal with one at a time, and then
Yep, I agree, I would like to hear a response, because the letter did not respond to anything that we put in there as a potential problem, so, that's something I think, Tim, you and Jason get together and craft something very nice and, send it to them that says, could you please answer the questions?
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure we can come up with something.
I might have some comments I'd like to check with you guys.
Okay.
So, yeah, and then I guess we'll wait till that response comes back to know what to go forward with. If they respond, I guess, I don't know.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to build anything commercial when you don't know where you can put it.
Well, how long ago was it? 2 years ago, I sat down with the Federal Highway Administration rep for our area, and he walked me through that whole process. And it's my understanding that once they have that NEPA done and it's all confirmed, right, let's say 2 years go by, they finally get the funding from the state, they're required to go back and look at their environmental assessment and see if it's still valid. If we just start building up these businesses, their environmental assessment will not be valid because the environment has changed too much and it'll kick them back to the start. So I'm not going to wait on ITD. I say let's build. Build, baby, build.
They,
Does that sound about accurate?
Once they have the environmental assessment done, they then need to follow their right-of-way procurement process. And that's what's called the Uniform Relocation Act. And that's a federal document. And that lays out a process for every land acquisition they have to do. And if you've ever been anywhere associated, you know they love paper. They love a paper trail. They like notes. It is a process. You hire consultants that just do right-of-way acquisition, and then when they're done, they hand a package to the legal department to actually do the legal proceeding to condemn the property if they need it. So once that NEPA gets done, the road is pretty well paved ahead of them, and I don't necessarily know that building an additional something sends them back to the front, but it does. This environmental process is a very important step in allowing them to take the next step. So Douglas, you feel free to weigh in if you have other.
I think the proposal makes sense. We might add a tagline that we're gonna get a response from them. It'll either be now or it will be in response to our objection at the end of the NEPA process, where we allegedly failed to adequately consider all those things, which that will bind up them closing it out. There's a comment period, and during that time you get to make comments, and if they fail to adequately do what they have to under the act, then they have to wait to just go back and redo that portion of it. So if you wanted to make the communication slightly more aggressive, you can make the point that a non-response isn't acceptable and keep pushing on the issues all the way through the comment period. But we'd like to get an answer now. Other than that, I don't have a lot to add.
Thank you. So I will continue to work with Councilor O'Meara as the executive representative and as the technical representative to craft up a further response letter and talk about continuing to work through their process. We're for the last 2 years we've been very responsive and providing as much input as I can, and the mayor and Roberta and Monica, we've provided a lot of information. We've showed up at their meetings and participated actively. So I would anticipate we will continue to do that, barring the council saying, do not do that.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah. So that is where we are, and I think that's enough direction for today on that issue.
Thank you very
But
much.
I'd like to speak further if you would like to.
Thanks, Jason.
Okay, executive session for the purpose of considering records exempt from disclosures pursuant to Idaho Code 74-206D. This time, I'm going to ask the public to exit the meeting room for executive session.
Do you want to have
Let's get the kids.
kids
I was
signed?
about to say that.
Okay, all right.
And we need a motion to go into executive session.
Yes, please.
All right, I move we go into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-206(d) for the purpose of considering records exempt from disclosure.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Council President Kaiser?
Yes.
Councilman O'Meara?
Absolutely.
Councilman Christensen?
yes.
Councilman Murray?
Yes.
All right, come on up, guys.
Step right up,
And
no waiting.
ladies.
And ladies, sorry.
Anyone can sign, so just bring on any one of the councilmen or the mayor.